It's like that.
I can just whisper and hear my sound.
Yeah. Hey, when I was walking over here, I was listening to 3 6 Mafia.
Cool.
You listen to them?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I was listening to this song called "Motivated."
Oh, really?
Yeah, and the line was every time I feel this, I'm motivated. Every time I flow this, not only do we flow this, we demonstrate it. We've come too far to give up now. I hope we make it. Every time the profits fly, I'm motivated. So
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of a beautiful, if not crass, way of saying the motivation behind 3 6 Mafia.
Mm-hmm.
And I was wondering if you'd like to talk about motivation today.
Yeah, motivation is a very important thing for an artist.
Yeah, it's like the well.
I would love to talk about it.
Yeah, it's like the well of inspiration and I don't know what motivates you. I guess is what I'm getting at.
Pooh. What's motivation is a tricky question. I was thinking about it a long time, and I need to ask some other people because right now I have not much motivation to go on, but I still do it. Then I question like why, So maybe this is the more or less motivator. You need to know why you're doing it, and then even in tricky situations, you keep moving.
Well, so you're 40. I'm 35.
Yeah.
Well, 35 for now. I turn 36 next month. But so I think it's important to just take age into consideration when we talk about motivation.
Yeah.
Because I feel like when you're in your teens and 20s and even early 30s, a lot of the momentum and motivation is social or like it's like a way to identify how you're different from everyone else. Does that make sense?
That makes sense. It's outer motivation, I would love to say, because the pressure is around you. Everybody is keep moving. There is a motivation in the society you're living in, and then you have to move no matter what. And also, teachers or other trainers are always around you, like parents. They are there to keep you moving. They shaping the pattern inside for later.
Yeah, but once you get to that later, it becomes a different game.
Yeah.
And I found that after I passed like the 30, 31, 32 mark, no one really expects you to just kind of keep doing it. And like there's a lot of forgiveness for people who like change careers or like move into some other area or realize that, hey, maybe this was a bad call and everyone in my life that told me not to do this might be correct. And I was just, the reason I wanted to talk about motivation is because you just turned 40, you're still doing it.
Yeah.
And that's a big deal.
That's true. I mean, what else can I do?
Yeah, and you mentioned you could do a lot else. You could start tap dancing.
True.
So if you're still doing it and you personally don't feel like anything's motivating you, but you're still doing it,
yeah,
what do you think the root of that is? Is it habit? Is it because you're maybe fearful of what life would be without it?
I mean, it's kind of inner voice. I'm talking to myself, and sometimes I'm not listening, sometimes I'm listening. So I have no choice, I set up my life. I found kind of my goal. I want to be an artist. I want to do the things I'm doing. And that's a commitment I have to myself. So I, like, maybe you can confuse or make it like a synonym, but the commitment I have is more or less like a discipline I set up, but still I feel like a lack of discipline because I can't like always just wake up at 8, do the things I have to doing.
So you feel guilty if you don't perform?
Yeah, definitely. I can't really rest. It's impossible because I always feel like it's never enough what I'm doing. And yeah, but I also spend a lot of time thinking and reflecting what I've done and what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm guilty, like, because I haven't done anything in that time, but still it's like shaping, setting up your goals in life and go on later.
So you have a vision of what you want to see like brought into the world, and then
Yeah.
if you don't do that, you feel like you're letting yourself down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, that's actually a big motivator for me
Yeah,
as
what's
well.
up with you?
So, like, it's the same situation as you, where over the years, I've set up my life with a structure to where it's much easier to make art than it is to not make art.
Mm-hmm.
So it's this system that's been created, and that's what's so even when I don't have the motivation to create, the system allows me to create anyway.
Yeah.
So if I'm sad, I still make work. If I'm happy, I still make work. If I'm busy, I still make work. If I'm bored or not interested in what I'm making,
Mm-hmm.
I use that as motivation to make work. But I also feel very guilty if I come up with an idea and then it goes nowhere.
I mean, first you have to get into your vehicle, like your artist career, and then you start the engine and you go on. And the thing is, it's not about like if you have a really goal. It comes on the way sometimes. You know, you take some circles around your block of creativity, and then once all of a sudden you have a good idea, and then you go further to the next step.
So the motivation is trying to find that good idea.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you need a trigger, you know, you need something, okay, that's great. I can identify with that for the moment, maybe later not. But the thing is, you need something like an inner love kind of trigger that you love to do this, and then you go on and you feel good. It's about a good feeling in the overall. Like later, maybe you have a bad feeling, and then you need to find a way how to do it or why. Again, but yeah.
Well, let's backtrack. So when you were first starting out, like, how old were you when you started out? Did you say 16?
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of a escape, let's say.
Okay.
But also there were certain things that motivated me, because there was this one guy in another group in another school, and I just saw him from far away, and I thought, okay, this guy has some aura. I don't know, is it the right word to say?
Yeah.
And that was quite interesting, because later I found out, okay, he's doing graffiti, he's also making rap, and it was kind of cool. So yeah, it was something I can, even if I don't do that, I can identify with.
So he had the energy that you wanted to project.
Yeah, I
That's
can say
cool.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what started you down the path. For me, it was a little different. I was always interested in art. When I was in school, whenever we'd have our art classes, it always interested me. I found some type of like way to process my brain when I was making art. I specifically remember an exercise, I think I was maybe 10 or 11, where we had to draw an outline of our hand.
Yeah.
And then for each finger, we had to do a different pattern.
Oh, nice.
And I remember that was like the most stimulating aspect of that entire year of my life. But
So wait a minute. You put your
hand down,
and then you outline with a.
you outline all your fingers, and then for each finger, you had to do a different pattern.
Okay.
So you had to make your own pattern.
Yeah.
And then also, like before that time, I was in the U.S. back in the day. They used to call it a gifted program. They had to stop calling it because it kind of connotated that some kids were and some kids weren't special. But in that class, it was like logic problems and basically a playground for kids to just like solve logic problems and like think about things through, think about things in different areas, think about things in different ways. And that usually like led to people becoming like scientists or different areas of interest. And mine was visual and visual art.
What were your age in that time?
Ooh, that was that was from first grade all the way to fifth grade. So, or no, third grade to fifth
For the
grade.
people who are not in America.
Yeah, I don't remember how old it is. It's
Okay.
young. It's really young.
Yeah. So 12, 13.
No, that's like middle school.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
So
even earlier. So
even
you were
earlier.
9
yeah,
years
yeah,
old.
yeah. So
Okay.
like 8 to 10 or 11.
All right.
But so I was interested in it, and then I would say what my motivation was to actually pursue it. When I was 15, one of my really close friends, Lainey, was killed in a boating accident.
Okay.
And it was the height of puberty and not a very balanced time. Let's just put it that way.
But what is a boating exercise?
Boating accident.
Boating.
Yeah. So
On a boat.
Yeah. So she and some friends. I won't say names. Because it may not be the best to do. But it was my sister's friend, who was also my prom date the next year or a few years later. Lainey and then 2 other guys.
Yeah.
And they were out on the water. It was choppy water, and Lainey and my sister's friend were on the front of the boat, fell under, and the boat ran over them.
Shit.
Yeah. So her and I, we were really close. We had this friend group. We're still pretty close to this day. But her and I, we used to exchange paintings, and I would show her my writing and that type of stuff.
Yeah.
And after that, I decided that I was going to be an artist. Like that's my goal. She can't be here, so I don't know what she would have been if she had was still with us. But in my head at that time, she was going to be an artist. So
there was this energy,
Yeah.
and energy exchange. It is quite important.
Yeah, but
That's cool.
But so that's kind of why I've been like just kind of had tunnel vision since that time. So for the last 20 plus years, just basically, if it doesn't concern being an artist, it doesn't really concern me. So I've just been like chipping away at it as quickly as possible. And
yeah, I mean, I can feel that.
Yeah.
But also you keep the mission, you were exchanging like art energy, you still keep it. And yeah, it's a good thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'd say my motivation is basically like a mix of young, like trauma at a young age, and then also realization of a dream for myself and for someone who can't be here.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great motivation. Yeah, I didn't know about it. I'm sorry to hear.
Yeah, it is what it is. It's
I also had a friend, a close graffiti artist, who died because he had like heart issues, and once he like sprayed too much in an elevator. The aerosol was too much in his lungs, and then later he went to the supermarket and just felt. So, but people didn't know. So he was pretty young. He was 18, 19, something like that. And people just left him there lying. They didn't know he had some kind of a heart attack. Yeah, then they took him to the hospital, but he couldn't make it. So yeah, then he died. The problem is also like I spent a lot of time with him, like exchanging graffitis, make a lot of stuff in the neighborhood. Was a pretty cool guy, a lot of fun. And yeah, the problem was also we had a fight before he died. And,
that's the worst.
Yeah, tricky. So, yeah. But I know that I had a good time with him, so I couldn't even imagine now, like remember what kind of fight it was. But it's just not a good feeling, if you leave someone and...
yeah, everything feels so important at the time.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
If something
True.
Irrevocable happens, it's kind of... everything just seems kind of small.
Yeah, I also forgot about it more or less. I mean, I kept it in mind, but yeah. Now you were talking about your friend.
Yeah.
Exchanging in a art in the early ages of your art career. It triggers something and it motivates, but I also kept moving with this graffiti thing, and I was long like tagging his name next to mine to keep a reminder. But yeah, it is what it is. Later I went to university, so this whole thing like switched a little bit from graffiti to street art, or more or less from graffiti to design school, which I still doing, like design. And then it also switched through some new field of other artists of Berlin.
So in your 20s, you went to university and studied design.
Yeah.
What motivated you to switch to design?
Also an interesting question. I was working in a car workshop, like restoration old timers and other things, like mostly cleaning them. But it was fine in that time. And there was this one guy who was part of an agency, and he always like went super chill, had a macchiato in his hand, and was always super chill. And I asked him, "What are you doing here?" He said, "I'm a designer." Also pretty cool, and it was kind of motivating. He didn't talk about his struggles, he was just chilled, so maybe that was the thing.
Designers seem to be that way.
Yeah, it's not.
A little less existential.
Yeah.
Well, I did not study design in university. I studied fine art, painting, and drawing. And everyone said I should do design, and I was like, no, I'm an artist. Artists are not designers, and designers are not artists.
Yeah.
And now I'm about to be 36 and a designer. But so I was in school, and
a brush and a concept makes a designer.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that. But so for me, the motivation was like I needed to make work, and I really didn't even want to go to university. I just wanted to get a studio and start working.
All right.
And I applied because I went to an art high school, and to like actually pursue art. So Lainey passed when I was a freshman, and then I went to another year of high school. So she passed at the end of my freshman year. I had a year at another year at the high school, and then during that year, I decided I was going to go to this school of the arts.
Yeah.
And my motivation for that was I had met a pretty lady, and she went to that school. So I was
man, this lady story.
Yeah.
I had the same.
Yeah, so I went to that school, and then by the time I was done there, like I didn't really want to do any more school. I was like, I'm done with it. I just want to make my work. I don't need people telling me what to do. And then
What the rebel.
Yeah, well, mama cries, so you end up doing what you don't want to do. But I applied to a bunch of art universities, like private art schools. I got a bunch of scholarships.
Cool.
But then my parents sat me down and said, and we just looked at the numbers and the math, and it's like, yeah, you got a half scholarship to this school. Yes, it's like, I don't know, anywhere between $25,000 and like $60,000.
Yeah, it's not enough.
But the school cost $250,000 for 4 years. So it's like it doesn't make sense. It just, numbers don't make sense. They were like, you can do this, but it doesn't make any sense to do this. So they said, like, let's go look at some public universities. Their art programs are just fine. And
your parents were like, what are you doing to yourself?
Yeah, exactly. They were like, in the long term.
And to us.
Yeah. Well, in the long term, it was. It ended up being a better move. I ended up. I told my parents. I said, I went to this one university that I ended up attending, but I said, I'll give you the information. I'll write the essays, but I'm not filling out any paperwork. Like I'm not doing any of that. Like I don't care enough to do that.
All right.
So we basically sat down and we just figured it out, a way to get it going. And I ended up attending. I got some scholarships, like a leadership scholarship, and I got accepted into the honors college there, and was in the painting program, and it was fine.
Yeah.
I learned a lot. I learned a lot of like German design principles, German like
Yeah, they're
2D.
quite important, even
Yeah.
through Bauhaus. Very
A lot
conceptual.
of Josef Albers, a lot of Johannes Itten, a lot
Yeah.
of Rudolf Arnheim.
I love this Johannes Itten theory and how he make up the classes. It's super nice.
I love Itten so much more than Albers. Like I feel like Itten's his book, The Art of Color. It puts the emphasis on making work first and finding out the systems and the structures of color through working. Whereas I feel like Albers...
Oh man, that's interesting.
Yeah, and I feel like Albers is just like real dogmatic, and it's like, this is what it is. You need to understand this before you do anything. And like I that just doesn't jive with my sensibilities.
What I loved about Ethan was he set up a class, and the first thing they were doing is going outside and move.
Yeah.
They were dancing. They had like a lot of fun just with their bodies. And then he also said something like, everybody can be an artist. I can teach you. So it's inside you, and it's just a muscle, the creativity thing. And I really loved that, because I brought this to the office I was working in, because people are like just in the office, they have to create something, even if you're just a consultant, you have to be creative all the time, and it sucks energy. So I came up to the CEO and said, let's make something in the morning, like a yoga class or something else. And the people, first of all, they get less sick. They sit better in their chairs. They are active from the first hour, let's say, and then also like they have a better body and posture, like feeling for themselves, and now you're laughing, but it's something like I really love, and I also have this concept in my own.
I'm just trying to picture what the CEO was thinking.
Yeah.
What was your position at this time?
A junior.
A junior. The junior goes, we need recess.
Yeah. I mean, I just saw a documentary about this guy, and I was like super excited, and I felt like, okay, I'm in this office, it's my first job, and my body feels weak. I had problems with my back, and
that's just corporate life, man.
Yeah. But I wanted to change it, and I went to the CEO and said, hey, please, we do something here, because I feel like I'm in a school again, but get paid for that, which is fine, but not much left after the...
So how's your sciatic nerve now?
My who?
Sciatic nerve? Your lower back?
Since I'm working a lot on my laptop, it's pretty bad, but I regularly move, so it's okay. It was bad when I was in your age.
Oh, okay. How's your pelvic floor health?
What helped?
Never mind. So back to school. So it wasn't really what I wanted, and I felt like I was wasting my time, like being in university.
Okay.
And then after...
But you have to pay a lot of over there, no?
Public universities aren't bad, and I had scholarships, so it was like half.
Yeah.
And so maybe a little over half. But it's like I felt like I learned a lot in the first 2 years I was there, and then I just needed time to process what I learned and put it into practice, because I have the personality type where if I get new information, I like to think about it, I like to write about it, I like to check the edges of it, see what works, see what doesn't, see if it's actually true, like, test it out.
Yeah.
And I felt like at university they were throwing so much information at you that you didn't have time to think, consider. You didn't have time to like actually make sure if it's true. And it's like you just have to like sit there and let it wash over you and just trust that these people who you don't know are telling you like accurate information.
It's authority.
Yeah. And so in my junior year, I got into this big row with the guy who basically could control if I graduated or not, and was basically kicked out of the the school, like not the school, but out of the studios. And it was basically bend the knee or you won't graduate. And at least from my perspective at that age. And so I said, okay, well, I'm just going to go get my own studio. It'll be a lot cheaper. So
Yeah, good idea.
yeah, I just did the math, and it was like, so for the meal program, apartment, tuition, which was mostly covered, but just did all the numbers,
Yeah.
and I could have my own studio, live there for 5 years. So I could either pay for one more year of university, or I could pay for 5 years of studio time. So
Right.
that's what I ended up doing. But then Mama cried. So she was
I mean, she had other numbers in her mind.
yeah.
Maybe more sustainable, more long term
Yeah,
than
yeah.
just 5 years.
Yeah. But so I ended up going to a different college where she worked for this university, so I had free tuition there. So I enrolled and did about half a semester, had pretty good grades, and then just sat her down. And
What
was
did
like,
you study?
It was still a painting program.
Okay.
It just wasn't that great. But
I mean, people love to do that, and you were like, how do you say, like, privilegiert, privileged.
oh, privileged, yeah.
Yeah, to do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, well, if you have options, it'd be dumb not to use them.
Mhm.
So if I was there, I did about a half a semester, and then showed my parents the grades, and was basically like, "Hey, look, it's not because I can't do it; it's because I don't want to do it." And then they were like, "Okay, we."
But this kind of normal, like when you're forced to do something in this age and you don't like it, you're just not doing it.
Well, there's a difference between persevering through something that's hard
yeah,
and wasting your time,
yeah, that's also the
and
same.
that's what I felt like I was doing.
Yeah, it's what people in this age mostly feel when they do mathematics.
I love math.
Yeah, but you know, people see a task in front of them and it's like, what I'm doing with that? I don't use it later.
Yeah.
So they have bad marks. Yeah.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
It's
no.
also not motivating.
Well.
If you don't see, like, when the task is there and you don't see an overall goal, people less explain the things when
if you
they're
have
in front of you.
If you have a goal and it's a clear, concise goal with metrics where you can measure success and failure,
Yeah.
it's like that should be priority number one whenever you're doing anything.
Yeah, but people don't make this transparency to the students or like other things.
That's my issue.
Yeah.
It's all abstract.
It's super abstract, and they say, hey, you have to do it and go through it. It will be good for you. But they don't understand, and they don't have the motivation to do it in the best way.
I'm not bashing universities. It's just not for me. So at that time, I had a studio in Jackson. So I would just commute from the city the university was in to my studio every day.
Yeah.
And so now I was finally free to just make work.
Yeah.
And then around that time, I was free, but I felt a little lost. I didn't know what I was going to do for money. Like, I just, like, it's your normal early 20s stuff where it's like you got to figure out life. And so there was a coffee shop. This was in Clinton, Mississippi, if anybody knows. It's this coffee shop called Cups. And I was there drinking a coffee, and I was like, okay, I'm going to walk back. It's getting kind of late. Might be getting a little dark, and like people don't really walk like long distances in these areas.
Yeah, they take a car.
Yeah, so I was walking back to my apartment, and this car pulled up beside me and stopped, and it was this lady I was hanging out with at the time, and she asked me if I wanted to ride back to the apartment, and I was like, nah, I'm good. I just want some fresh air. I just want to walk, and I should have gotten the car. But so I was walking back to the apartment, and there's like this, so the way the apartment complex was set up is there was like 3 2-story buildings, and they're all surrounded by a courtyard.
Yeah.
And they all surround a courtyard, and all the doors face inwards to the courtyard. And so there's these little alleys to lead into the courtyard so you can get to your door to your apartment.
Yeah.
So I walked up. It was like dusk, so it was just getting dark. And I was walking down this alley, and I saw this lady at the end, she was wearing like this tube top. Do you know what Daisy Duke shorts are?
Daisy Duke shorts.
Yeah, it's like jeans that are cut off really high.
Okay.
To make like shorts, and flip flops. And she had like bangs. She had like long hair, and she looked like she looked like something serious was going on. And but it was like, when you're walking down a hallway and someone's walking towards you, and like you don't know if you should look them in the eyes, so you keep looking away.
Yeah.
And then like eventually you pass, and then it's over, but both of you don't know if you should look each other in the eyes. So I was doing that. I was like, hey, how's it going? Good night. How are you doing? Just like under my breath, like a little uncomfortable. And she just didn't say anything. She just stared me down. And then as I walked past her, she turned. And then I got into the courtyard and looked to my right, and I saw my landlord, my landlord's son, and then my landlord's son's 2 kids. And then I realized this was my landlord's son's wife, and those were her 2 kids. And I realized I had just walked into the biggest family argument ever. They had just got done screaming. So I was like, "This is awkward." So I walk over to
public.
So I walk over to my door, and I put my keys in and I open it. And as I'm doing that, they start screaming at each other. And so I turned to take a little peek and maybe listen to what the landlord's got going on. And then as I'm looking, the lady who stared me down yells, "Fuck it, I'm done." She pulled out a gun.
No way.
Shoots herself in the head.
Man.
Yeah. So the kids are screaming. The husband is freaking out, and the landlord is screaming. So I just pull out my phone and call the police. Let them know there was a gunshot, the address, and that it was. It wasn't like it wasn't like somebody shot someone else. It was suicide. And then I'm just staring at her as she's laying on the pavement, shaking all the blood out of her head. And I was thinking,
I mean, love can be a motivator, but can also kill everything.
Yeah, it was wild. But I went to the studio the next day. Yeah, probably should have got therapy, but didn't. So
I mean, you can't really if you're moving and you're going out and you're on your mind, you never know what's going to happen on the way,
Yeah.
And things happen.
Yeah, but that was a reminder, like in a motivating way, of like mortality.
What do you mean by mortality?
Mortality is it just means like that everything will die. Everything living will die.
Okay, yeah, that's true, but we have to make it livable. That's why we are artists.
Yeah, well, it's like Cezanne had his skull. Like all these artists in the past had these skulls that they would keep on their desk, like a human skull, just like as a reminder of mortality. I don't think
mortality. It's a pretty tough word. It gives a lot of bad energy to what you have to do, but it gives you one thing that's also motivating. It's a sense of urgency. So people lose the sense that something has to get done, and they wait till the last moment. It's also kind of a thing that artists or creatives do in general. I saw that in university when you have a task or when you have like a Abgabe, like a deadline. You wait till the last month and then you start to do it, and you do everything you have to do in the last 6 months. That's also kind of like, are people not motivated, or is it they don't have a sense for urgency?
Yeah.
What do you think?
And that's my main issue with like the creative class in general. It's very, from my perspective, and that's the perspective of you never know when you're going to die. So everything is very slow, and everything, there's always plenty of time, and
it seems like, yeah.
I mean, this is what I'm saying about my perspective of the creative class, is there's always time to do it. It doesn't have to happen right away, and everything should just like unfold organically. And from my perspective, those things are true. However, there are ways to make it happen quicker.
Yeah.
If you like set aside time every day to do a specific type of thing or specific task.
Yeah, there are
you'll do
methods. Yeah,
Yeah.
of course. That's why people came up with a design process or art process and
Yeah.
a setup. I really love what you said in the beginning when you were like, I set up a system, and no matter how is my mood, I will just sit down and have the things prepared and just do it, you know.
And it doesn't have to be complicated. It's like the
Yeah,
system
you start
could
with
just,
little things, yeah, but
could
I
just
really need something like that right now. I had it when I was in your age, but I kind of lost right now in the process, you know. If I don't feel it, I don't do it. And even if it's like serving my sustainable goal, if I don't feel it, I don't do it. And it's kind of a problem I have right now, but still I do things and reflect them. And also the thing is, I don't believe my past, because when I had a super great idea and I set up a long-term goal for my life, and when you're doing it, you know, I want to be like this and that, like a pop star or whatever, you ask questions, is it really what I'm doing? And when I'm like 17 or 80, it's a different thing. So yeah.
Well, I think the system, like, it doesn't have to be complicated. It could just be making a deal with yourself to where it doesn't matter what's happening. I will be in the studio every day.
Yeah.
Like that could be the system. And then if you're in the studio, if you discover that what you end up doing is just looking at your computer or your cell phone the whole time, that's valuable information.
Yeah, I had that system, but
Yeah.
I lost it.
Yeah. But that's what I saw whenever I was coming up and like I was really serious about being an artist. I found that all the creative people I'd like see and be introduced to, they'd be introduced as a dancer or a painter or a musician or a writer, but they wouldn't dance, they wouldn't write, they wouldn't paint, they wouldn't, like, maybe they did it once or maybe they do it occasionally, but like they weren't actively pursuing.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, and so that really rubbed me the wrong way, and I made a deal with myself, which is part of my motivation for my path.
Yeah.
That I will be defined by my my creative output. So whatever I do within my work will decide what I am.
True.
So if I think I'm making paintings, but they're actually words, and then it turns out I'm a writer, like that's not a problem for me. Like,
No, it's not. It's
I'm
still
not,
creative, and
I'm not
it's
stuck.
expression.
I'm not stuck on labels, but when you were speaking earlier, it reminded me. I'm going to bring up another quote, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, we're
Okay.
here for that.
He said, "Some people live long, but at a snail's pace." So it's not.
What is snail?
A snail is it's like a little wiggly boy that has a shell on it.
Yeah. Okay, a snail. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a slug with pants. But it doesn't matter how long you live. It matters with what you're doing with the time you have available.
Yeah, it's true. But for my sense, I want to do things like more long term. So I'm really thinking hard. That's why I came back to this art and business combination. And I set up one thing which broke my system, because I realized it's not enough if I'm just every day in the studio and do things and be creative, because I have like a lot of artworks around me and I don't sell them. It's a problem because I have to think more about marketing and business. So I set up one day in a week socializing and networking. So I went out, go somewhere where it's an event and just be present, even if I'm super uncomfortable. But I knew, okay, I have to go out there and show my paintings or my presence that I'm there. And it kind of worked out a little bit. And I also thought a lot about, okay, my art is like pure emotional. it's not easy selling, and people don't know that it's available. It's all over the streets. People recognize it, and they don't know that it's available. People slide into my DMs and ask me, "Hey, can I have this and that?" And it's like, yeah, of course you can have it. But they don't know. They ask because they're curious. But still, I have to set up a selling system and a marketing system, which is far away from the art process, so far away from sitting in the studio and creating.
So in your brain, you feel like you have to do everything?
Yeah.
Why?
I went around and I didn't find like experts around that, and maybe I had this wrong idol in my head that I saw one guy doing everything and it's quite successful, and I thought, okay, this maniac is doing it, so I can do it.
When you were in university, did you study economics at all?
A little bit.
So have you ever heard the it's not a metaphor, it's just, I guess, kind of a saying that Tiger Woods doesn't cut his own grass? Like, you don't have to do everything.
Yeah, but Tiger Woods is doing more than just golf. I mean, I didn't build all the streets out there. I'm using them. I didn't do the houses.
You don't own the streets. What I'm saying
now
is,
I'm owning them.
Like,
yeah, I got it. I don't need a metaphor. Maybe I need it, but what I really need is people like who are willing to support. And still, we are living in a society where you have to give something back when you're like getting something, a little bit at least. And yeah, it's tricky, sales and business is quite expensive. I mean, I have to find somebody who is reliable and take a cut of what I'm like producing. And since my art is very emotional, I'm very emotional with my art. So the people who like sharing my art with have to be like somebody who knows what is love and the value of it. Okay. So if it's just a pure business guy, I wouldn't do it with them.
So in terms of motivation, you're driven by the idea of doing it all yourself?
No, I believe as much as I can do on my own, it's good and I'm comfortable, and I know that it's doable at the end of the day. I mean, I know some others can do it and save my time in creating something, and they do just the business part, but it's hard to find.
Yeah,
I don't believe that I can do everything. I believe in teamwork. But since my team around me was sometimes not reliable, so I had like bad experiences with things, and then I got like, okay, I have to like do it on my own. That's more or less the tricky part, yeah.
Well, what motivated you in your 30s?
In my 30s?
Well, actually, let's backtrack. So
no, I can talk about my 30s.
Well, we're still in the 20s though. So
okay.
Like mid to late 20s. What was going on there?
I mean, my body was kind of healthy. I felt energy when I was waking up, even if I had like a long night. So
you had the energy to make work?
Yeah. The energy was just there, I felt, and even if my paintings weren't good, I love to go out and put them everywhere and create new characters. So I don't reflect much. I was just in a tunnel of doing things. That was great. So maybe if you gain age, you reflect a lot, and then you find out it's shit. But still, you have to be a beginner, and you have to enjoy being a beginner. Because when you think about Picasso, his first portraits, I just went through it, and it was funny that he was very accurate with his first portraits of himself and other people. And later, when he was 80, 90, he wanted to paint as a child again. So the first steps, you have to enjoy when you're doing art. You have to enjoy that you are doing ugly things, because you will never come back to the stage and keep these old paintings. You will love them in the later time.
Yeah, I found that too. Like, usually I'm pretty critical of what I'm making when I make it, but when I go back to it after like 5, 10, 15 years,
Yeah, even 20. Yeah.
yeah, it's they're special for some reason.
Yeah, they're raw.
Yeah.
Because later you develop a skill, and it's always like what you have to look at, and you have idols, you want to be like that, just letter writing, they're like huge great artists, and you copy these letters, making 3D and this and that, but the early stages are like pure you.
Yeah. Yeah. For me it was like, I would say my mid to late 20s was all about ambition.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like I wouldn't be taken seriously, wouldn't be able to make a living or make the best work possible unless I had like recognition or like outside sources telling me that my work is great. Because at that point I thought
You didn't have that, or you needed.
I had a little bit of it,
Yeah.
but it was mostly like, what? It's never enough.
No.
Like whenever like that game, I don't like that game. I've learned through experience that it's not what you should even be focused on, at least for me. But whenever I was in that mindset of my early 20s, it was like I felt like the clock was ticking, and like I had to get as successful as fast as possible. And I think that when you're doing that mindset, it becomes like this raw energy exchange where it's like you're just throwing yourself at all these doors, at all these walls, trying to find an entry point into some club that doesn't really even exist.
No, they don't have to exist. I mean, you can create your own doors when you're creative. That's also.
Yeah, and I feel like that's what I've been doing. But at that point in my life, it was like I felt like I had tried everything I could possibly do to be successful, and was just like
That's good.
hitting wall after wall. And
But did you hit them on your own, like me? It's exhausting, but also you have the success, and like it's building also some kind of identity, because okay, I'm capable of that.
Yeah. Well,
So I feel confident, and I'm more or less independent. I can do things, and also on the other side, I can help others with my knowledge. That's also nice.
Well, I felt like a lot of the walls were
Made up.
well, I wouldn't say made up. I feel like it was an intelligence gap. So like it's not that there's a wall there, it's just that there's a process that I didn't understand.
Yeah.
It's not that there was a wall there, it's just that there's no one who can provide what I'm seeking. It's not that there's a wall there, it's that these situations are because of my behavior, not because of my art.
I mean, it's knowledge.
It's like-
It's good to study, not
Yeah.
even without university. You have to study. You have to go on. You have to find ways around. I mean, this is also kind of what creativity means. It means you're capable of find a creative way around circumstances, like they trigger you, or they like stop you at one time, and then you reflect what is going on. Should I do it? Which direction is the right one? But if you don't have a compass or something else, you're on your own. You have to find it out, and you try things, everything.
Well,
And that's good.
What I ended up doing was leaving my home state and moving to Denver, Colorado. I wanted more opportunity. I wanted to be a place where the art seemed to be actively supported.
That's great, man.
And there it was wild, because it's like everything I had done in the South didn't mean anything in this city. So I had to basically start over from scratch, and I was trying to do things at the same level that I was doing them in the South.
Yeah.
But I didn't have a website. I didn't have a portfolio. I was just like, in the South, it's like word of mouth and like handshakes. So it's like, you don't really need that stuff. But in this city where nobody knows you and everybody's a grifter, and it's like people are lying to each other all the time just trying to get money.
Yeah, it's
So
like Berlin.
Yeah, so it's like I don't like I had to basically start over and find all the holes in my approach and then fix that.
But it's good that you changed the location to reflect again yourself and find the gaps.
Yeah.
But you took also something with you when you went there,
Yeah.
which they don't have.
Yeah. So that's basically the motivation in my 20s. Like it went from like it was my motivation is basically there has to be a way. I need to find a way, and I'm willing to do all the work to make that way possible.
Yeah.
And then we can get into the 30s. What motivated you in your 30s?
In my 30s, I was still working at this company, and it was a pretty cool time because I had a job and I had a studio I shared with another artist. And I learned a lot in this time. I also had a nice girlfriend. And the thing is, having a muse is also very motivating. I would love to talk about that because, like, through all the artists I know, they always like had something like a muse to motivate. And the funny part was, I was like in the first years of doing the street art thing, I took the drive from her home to work as a path of putting all my street art in the streets. I didn't know if I did I talk about that?
I think so.
Yeah.
But you can say it again.
So I was putting it was the train line of the M1 in Berlin, and she needs to pass that way to her work, and at every corner I put my art there. And it was kind of like a setup, and I was super motivated because I know, okay, she's seeing that every day when she's going to work. That's cool, because it was also going through Mitte of Berlin, so it was a very like high traffic area, and this was also making the path to like becoming a more like a street artist. And I took this motivation also to go other lines and find my spots in Berlin. And out of that, I created a system to like be recognizable, because I know, okay, people used to say to me, hey, you are everywhere. But that's not true. I just have like focused area in my in the city, and I go there.
And then those people never leave that area, so it seems
kind
like
of the thing also. But once you like having you in the area and you open your mind for street art, you see one piece, you see the next one and the next one, and then you think, this guy is everywhere. But if they're walking through Charlottenburg, they don't have this street art thing in the mind, and I'm not there. So you have a focus point, and then you're like, if you're there, you're raising the awareness, and you're there. It feels like
so your motivation was you knew this lady was going to be walking through this area, so you just papered all the walls. Oh, okay. Notice me.
I'm here.
I exist.
Think about me.
Yeah. So that was your motivation in your 40s? I mean 30s?
30s, more or less, yeah. And also what people say, and it's a kind of more outer motivation than an inner motivation, I have to say, because it was like an ongoing thing, and I had a safe setup around me. So I was working, I had my flat, I had this and that, so I was like cool. So I can just do my art without any force. Now it's different, I have to do it, and it's a different approach.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm only halfway through my 30s now. But I can tell you that...
So what motivates you right now?
Well, I can tell you what motivated me to... Well, it's not what motivated me. It really sped up the process. But to get to Berlin... So there's a lot of reasons I'm here, but this is just one of them.
Yeah.
I think it was 2023. I was 33 years old. I was at work. It was a Monday morning, 8:05. So I just got in at 8, and I was sitting at my desk. My desk was like 20 feet from the entrance, like in there.
At home.
No, this was at an office.
Okay. Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I like see a couple people run by. Where I was, I couldn't really hear much outside of the window that I had. And
which area was that?
it was in Denver.
In Denver. Okay.
Yeah. And it turns out that, how do I put this? A kid who was 17 years old had stolen a car. The car had broken down right in front of our office.
All right.
And 5 minutes after I walked in, my coworker was walking in.
It was his car.
And this kid pulled a gun out,
Wait.
pointed it at her, and told her to give him the car keys. I don't know what happened after that.
Yeah.
But she was shot in the head.
What's happening
right in the
over
entrance.
there, man?
She survived, fortunately, and yeah. But she, yeah, and I saw the aftermath, but I did get therapy after that. But after that, I decided, there seems to be a pattern with this gun thing. And
it's true.
I think
it's not good to have an emotional moment to have a gun at your hand.
Yeah, I figured for life in general and for creativity, it would be good to be in a place where I don't have to be worried about getting murdered at any second.
Well, I mean, Berlin is still dangerous. Things happen.
If you're buying drugs or if you're going to places that are...
No, people die in the streets and it's not in the media, so it's really happening. And even at Alexanderplatz, and it's on a regular basis, but it happens in different circumstances. These things over Denver, when you're just a car thief facing another person, taking the gun, it's way too easy going to just shot somebody. It's crazy.
I get the perspective that, some stuff happens here too.
Yeah.
But I don't think you...
Not that
I don't
fast.
think you understand.
Yeah. No, I understand, but still.
So, but creatively, what motivates me right now is I want to be ready for a future where good things happen.
Yeah.
And to do that, there's a lot of paperwork, like getting visas, that type of thing. There's a lot of planning and a lot of action. And I feel like being here has opened up opportunities that it's not like opportunities that don't exist in the US, because they do. What it does happen here is me as an Auslander being here, it gets rid of a lot of the static and a lot of the noise that
get rid of this
static and the noise that kind of clouds vision. So while I'm here, I get to just focus on the core of what I want to accomplish. Like I guarantee you, like what I'm able to do here is much more focused because I don't have to worry about a lot of extra stuff.
Yeah.
Like
security.
It's like it comes down to like I don't have to worry about health insurance.
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about a car. I don't have to worry about like just like all this extra stuff. And it's like it feels like
It's more freedom to create.
Exactly.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, I saw a lot of people come here to Berlin, and they come from all over, South Europe, America, and all that stuff. And still, Berlin is like it's a trap for most of the people because the freedom is too much for them, and they use it to like release, calm down, and enjoy life. And since that drugs are like available everywhere, and the party scene like it's huge, and there's a party going on, if it's private or commercial, you can do every day, you can make a party. So people really like, if they socialize, good that you're an introvert, and that saves you.
Well, I find it's best to have a party when you have something to celebrate.
Yeah, that's the thing, of course. And even that, I recently like had a good friend who like made party, and he went back to an old pattern and did something very bad, and now he's about to lose his family, emotionally.
Yeah.
2 kids, nice wife, but something happened on that party, and he didn't do anything, but it broke totally the trust of the family.
Mm-hmm.
So now they're getting separated, and 2 kids are like that.
But
Things like that are happening in Berlin, and it's important to talk about it. It's also like about breaking a motivation with a little moment of your life where you forget it. You have to be conscious about your motivation all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you're like sad, bored, or whatever, you have to know, okay, it's me, it's my life, it's a sense of urgency, like you said, life is short, and use your day wisely, and set up your goals. Also reflect your goals on the way, I would say, because I reflect and I change them. I'm still on my path of creativity, but that's just my thing I would love to share as well.
Yeah, I think it's important to clarify your goals and then reflect on them.
Yeah. Also talk with others about your goals is super important, because
no.
Yeah, you have to reflect, you have to test.
No.
You don't do that?
No, hell no. No, whenever you tell people what your goals are, it's you get
it's not about people. You have somebody close, you reflect the thing, or somebody who's like older. I'm not talking about me, maybe much older, who just went through all that. Maybe he's 80, maybe he's your grandfather or whatever.
Let me get the thought out real quick.
Yeah.
So whenever you tell people what your goals are, it could be anyone.
Yeah.
What you're doing is you're inviting someone in to either validate that goal or reject that goal, or like find holes in it somehow. And whenever you do that, and if they do say, oh, that's a great goal, that's going to be good, you get a good feeling from that.
Yeah.
Because you had a good idea. The problem is you're less likely to actually achieve that goal, in my experience, because you've already gotten a good feeling from just the idea of the goal.
Yeah.
What's better in my experience is asking people specific aspects. So like, if your goal is to make a publication, you don't say, hey, I'm making a publication, it's about this, and then that's the conversation.
Yeah, I get it.
What you do is you say, hey, I'm looking at these 3 print houses. Have you used any of these? Which one's the best?
Okay, so you have an aspect.
Yeah, so you're asking for guidance along the way with actionable steps. However, if you do say your grand ideas, then all you are is an idea person, and that's not an artist. I mean, it may be a conceptual artist, but I don't see much difference between a conceptual artist and someone who happens to be homeless. So it's like,
well, it's the action in between. It's the motivation again. So a homeless can also have great art thoughts.
Yeah. Well, let me expand on that.
Yeah.
So what is a conceptual artist? It's someone who basically does nothing, and they have all this stuff you have to read, and they expect you to give them money.
Yeah, a philosopher. But a philosopher, once he write a book, you did something. Like you said, you know, some people just write things
Yeah.
and still be artists, even if they like write messages on a canvas.
Yeah, you got to say something with your writing, though.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Well, awesome.
Are you motivated to make a next podcast?
No. Oh, I feel like
Because you don't have the energy?
No. So I feel like I gave a little bit too much of a hot take with that conceptual artist dig.
No, it's fine. I mean,
okay.
it's your thought. It's fine.
It's actually a joke I'm working on, but I feel like it's a little too mean.
It's fine. You know, people have thoughts, and once they get out, you reflect them.
And you realize it's not
So good. That's why also you have to reflect your goals a little bit with the circle you trust. You don't go on a stage and share whatever is there.
Yeah.
You need to have somebody you trust, and you get an honest answer.
Yeah.
And it's a problem if you have a great goal in your mind, but it's not at the end. So you feel like you waste a lot of time when you're like 60. What have I done?
Yeah.
The thing is, you have to enjoy life and have good moments. It's also what I thought when I was super sick. And then, you know, I made a lot of nice stories and I made experience. It's great. I went through that. Even my goal was wrong in that time. But I have a nice story to tell. It's also good. It's a nice motivation.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks for chatting with me.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, yeah. Well, cool. Bye, everybody. I hope you have
Bye, guys.
Bye. I hope you have a great week. Oh, this is going to be, there's going to be a little bit of a break. I'm going to be out of town, so we'll see you in January. See ya.
See ya.